Welcome to Chronicles and Legends. Please hit that subscribe and let us know in the comments where in the world are you tuning in from. Chapter 1. Origins of Angels. Before humanity first crawled from clay into trembling life, before the void felt warmth, before light itself understood its own brilliance, there were angels. Not as we imagine them, robed men with feathered wings serenading the heavens with gentle harp songs. No, in those primordial eons, angels burned like thoughts within God's unknowable mind, manifesting as roaring living flames, their shapes rippling between terror and beauty with every pulse of divine will. When God whispered creation into the endless silence, the first emanation was not stars, nor nebulae, nor time. The first creation was order, woven into being through the creation of angels. They were born to serve, to watch, to record, to enforce, to sing. Each vibrated with unique frequencies of divine will. Each bore a purpose etched into their essence so deeply it could never be removed, unless they chose rebellion. But that is a shadowed chapter yet to come. The word angel arises from the Greek angelos, meaning messenger. In Hebrew, malak carries the same meaning. But to reduce their nature to mere couriers is to reduce thunder to just a sound. These beings were not merely communicators. They were embodiments of messages themselves. When God spoke, angels were his speech-given form. When he commanded, angels became the command. They are not separate from his will. They are its living extension. Scriptures speak of angels existing eons before the universe cooled enough for carbon to dream of life. The Book of Enoch, though cast out from canonical texts, preserves fragments of that distant cosmic order. It says, "I saw the treasuries of all the stars of heaven and how they are set in order, each in their dominion and the names of those who lead them." This describes not mere star mapping, but angelic governance over creation itself. Every star has its assigned watcher. Every galaxy has its guardian choir. Every force of gravity and expansion is overseen by silent angelic presences we will never perceive. In hidden mystical traditions, it is said that before God formed Adam from the black and red dusts of earth, he fashioned worlds upon worlds, civilizations of spirit, each ruled and guided by angels. These were not material worlds as we know them, but dimensions of light and idea, rising and collapsing like breaths of God, with angels as both architects and mourners of their birth and demise. Some scholars claim these pre-Adamic worlds were training grounds, preparing angels for the stewardship of matter itself. Others say they were experiments, discarded realities whose ruins still echo in the silent dark between galaxies. The first angels were not given names that human tongues could pronounce. They were beings of pure fire, aware of nothing but God and his glory. The Zohar describes them as flames within flames, each consciousness a single word of his infinite name, folded upon itself until called to unfold. When God spoke, "Let there be light," it was through these first angels that light erupted into being, channeled through them as lenses focus flame into piercing brilliance. They rejoiced in their servitude, knowing no purpose other than to reflect his power. But within some of them, a hidden ember of self-awareness began to glow. That ember would later ignite a rebellion of such catastrophic consequence it scorched all of creation. But that chapter lies ahead. Why did God create angels before humanity? Theologians debate this endlessly, but hidden esoteric texts suggest one truth. Witnesses. Before creating free will, God created witnesses. For every decision, every creation, every act of divine mercy or wrath, there would be countless eyes to observe and record. Nothing would be lost to the abyss of unknowing. Every particle spun into being would have an angel watching its dance, memorizing its story, until it returns to nothingness. Among these earliest angels were the Seraphim, burning serpents of living fire, guardians of the divine throne. The Cherubim, beings of immense knowledge, their forms interwoven with wings and eyes, silent keepers of secret wisdom. The throne's massive wheels of light and flame, singing harmonies that hold the cosmos in equilibrium. These three choirs existed before time, outside the sequence of cause and effect, woven into the architecture of eternity. The Grigori, or Watchers, are often remembered for their tragic rebellion, but before corruption touched them, they were tasked to observe the newborn earth. They stood upon the edge of creation's veil, looking down upon the swirling gases as planets cooled, silent as sentinels made of starlight. They watched oceans rise and mountains thrust themselves from the deep. They heard the first crackle of lightning strike lifeless stone and felt no awe or fear, only purpose. For the Watchers were created to see, and later their seeing became desire, and desire became doom. In the eons before matter gave birth to life, angelic choirs sang hymns with no words, melodies vibrating the quantum fabric into stability. It is said that in those silent hymns lay the blueprints of galaxies, the geometries of atomic bonds, the harmonics of time's arrow. These hymns continue, eternally resonating beneath all creation. Some mystics say, if you listen deeply enough in the darkness between your thoughts, you may hear their fading echoes. Before humanity, before sin, before flesh learned pain, there was only the light, the fire, and the silent wings of angels echoing God's first breath. But even within perfection, shadows stir, and within obedience, questions awaken. In our next chapter, we descend deeper into the 9 choirs, where each angelic order's terrible beauty and secret role is revealed. Chapter 2: Thrones of Fire. The 9 choirs and their terrifying forms. In the architecture of heaven, there is no randomness. Every beam of light, every tremor of glory, every echo of divine will is governed by a hierarchy so vast and precise that the mind of man trembles to comprehend it. This is the 9 choirs of angels, a structure of power and purpose forged before the first star burned, each order echoing a different note of God's infinite song. But their beauty is not gentle. Their forms are not meant for human comfort, for these beings were not made in our image. We were made in theirs, with only a sliver of their majesty and none of their terror. First sphere, the closest to God. Number 1, the Seraphim, the burning ones. At the apex of heaven dwell the Seraphim, whose name means burning or fiery serpents. Form: Isaiah saw them as beings with 6 wings, 2 covering their faces before God's brilliance, 2 covering their feet, and 2 with which they flew. Nature: they burn with an unending fire of pure love and devotion, flames so intense they consume any impurity that nears God's throne. Purpose: they continuously chant, Kadosh, Kadosh, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, their voices vibrating through creation, keeping the universe aligned to divine holiness. Imagine their wings of burning emerald and sapphire flame, their voices thunderous and layered with uncountable harmonic overtones. To see them is to feel one's soul incinerated by purity itself. Number 2, the Cherubim, guardians of knowledge. Beneath the Seraphim are the Cherubim, far from the plump baby angels Renaissance painters imagined. Form: Ezekiel described them with 4 faces, human, lion, ox, and eagle, with wings that roared like the sea and bodies covered in countless eyes. Nature: their gaze penetrates all illusions. Their minds encompass cosmic knowledge. Purpose: they guard the way to sacred mysteries, like the Garden of Eden's gate after Adam's exile, ensuring forbidden wisdom remains sealed until God ordains otherwise. If they were to look upon you, your secrets, even those hidden from yourself, would stand naked under their unblinking, all-seeing eyes. Number 3. The throne's wheels of fire and eyes. Completing the first sphere are the thrones, known in Hebrew as Apanim. Form: Ezekiel saw them as wheels within wheels, their rims covered in eyes, moving in any direction without turning. Some traditions describe them as massive crystalline structures of burning sapphire, rumbling like thunder with every motion. Nature: they embody divine justice, the stability of cosmic order. Purpose: thrones carry out God's judgments. Their presence heralds balance, restoration, and retribution where divine law has been broken. Their ceaseless spinning is said to generate the hum of reality's fabric, the low cosmic vibration heard in silence by those nearing death. Second sphere: governors of creation. Number 4. The dominions, lords of order. These angels regulate the duties of lower choirs, commanding them with silent authority. Form: humanoid, radiant, wielding scepters or orbs, symbolizing their governance. Their presence bends reality into obedience. Nature: they are the administrators, the high stewards of divine intention. Purpose: to ensure that God's will flows unimpeded through creation's hierarchy, unblocking resistance and dissolving disobedience among angelic ranks. Dominions appear infrequently to humanity, for their gaze alone can dissolve a mortal's will to nothing. Number 5. The virtues, spirits of motion and miracles. Known as the Brilliant Ones, virtues oversee the movement of celestial bodies and dispense divine grace as miracles on earth. Form: luminous beings of shifting colors, appearing like robed figures made of crystal light or faceless shining pillars. Nature: embodiments of untainted energy. Purpose: they infuse the natural world with spiritual power, ensuring the cycles of seasons, growth, and cosmic phenomena continue in harmony. When miracles occur, healings, unexplained salvations, divine interventions, it is the virtues who carry God's grace into effect. The powers form heaven's angelic militia, defending creation from dark forces that seek to unravel it. Form: armored spirits with swords of lightning, shields forged from condensed will, eyes blazing with uncompromising resolve. Nature: courage incarnate, unwavering protectors. Purpose: they guard the border between spiritual and material realms, restraining demons, holding chaos at bay, and keeping the fabric of reality from fraying into oblivion. When exorcists pray for protection, it is the powers who stand beside them, unseen sentinels whose swords taste only darkness. Third sphere: the closest to humanity. Number 7. The Principalities, guardians of nations. The Principalities watch over entire cultures, countries, and spiritual territories. Form: regal spirits crowned with divine authority, often appearing as shining sovereigns in ethereal robes, carrying scrolls of destiny for the peoples they guide. Nature: the embodiment of collective destiny. Purpose: they inspire leaders, raise just rulers, and enforce God's will upon the rise and fall of nations. Behind every rise of empires and collapse of kingdoms, principalities weave the unseen threads of God's hidden purposes. Number 8. The Archangels, messengers and warriors. Among the most known to humanity, archangels serve as divine heralds and champions. Form: radiant humanoid figures of immense presence, bearing swords, trumpets, or scrolls of revelation. Nature: power tempered with compassion. Purpose: deliver messages of cosmic importance, intervene in pivotal spiritual battles, and command lower angelic orders when necessary. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel are the four most revered archangels, each embodying a different divine facet: protection, annunciation, healing, and wisdom. Number 9. The angels, guardians of souls. At the final choir are simply called angels, closest to humanity in presence and purpose. Form: human-like in appearance, with subtle or radiant wings depending on their mission. Their gaze carries an unbearable purity. Nature: gentle, watchful, guides of individuals. Purpose: they deliver prayers, protect against unseen evils, and whisper guidance into receptive hearts. Your guardian angel belongs to this choir, unseen yet always present, recording every sorrow and triumph they carry before God. These are the 9 choirs: terrible, beautiful, incomprehensible, unyielding in purpose. Together they form a hierarchy more ancient than light itself, singing the songs that hold galaxies in place and weaving destinies from the strands of God's infinite mind. But not all angels remained obedient. Some dared question their station, some dared desire more, and their fall shook heaven to its foundations. Chapter 3. The Archangels' Warriors, Messengers, Healers, and Watchers. Among the legions of angelic choirs, 4 names echo with unmatched power across all Abrahamic faiths. They are spoken in whispered prayers by the dying, invoked by exorcists in trembling Latin, and etched upon the gates of ancient cathedrals. Michael, the warrior of God. Who is Michael? In Hebrew, his name means "who is like God." Not a question but a challenge to all who would defy divine order. Form and presence: appears as a towering figure in gleaming armor, radiating golden blue light. In his right hand blazes a sword of white flame, burning with the wrath of a million suns. His gaze pierces through sin and righteousness alike, seeing only truth. Purpose and role: Michael is the captain of the heavenly host, leader of angels in the war against darkness. In the Book of Revelation 1:2-7-9, "And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the great dragon was cast out." This dragon is Lucifer, who once shone as the morning star until pride blackened his brilliance. Michael cast him down with unyielding force, becoming the archetype of divine justice. Patronage and invocations: protector of soldiers, guardians, and exorcists. Invoked in Catholic rites of spiritual warfare, his name etched upon swords, shields, and holy sigils to banish infernal presences. When Michael descends, he comes not to negotiate, but to conquer. Gabriel, the messenger of revelation. Who is Gabriel? His name means "God is my strength." In nearly every scriptural encounter, Gabriel arrives bearing messages that shape history itself. Form and presence: appears as a luminous figure robed in purest white or emerald light, sometimes winged with silver feathers, other times as a radiant pillar. His voice is described as a multitude in harmony, a choir echoing across dimensions. Purpose and role: Gabriel's primary duty is to deliver revelation. 2. Explain cryptic visions of empires and the end times. To Zechariah, announced the birth of John the Baptist. To Mary, delivered the greatest message of all, the Incarnation, saying, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God." In Islam, Jibril, is the archangel who revealed the Quran to Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, over 23 years, dictating every verse with precision and divine authority. Patronage and invocations: invoked by mystics and prophets seeking clarity, visions, and divine dreams. patron of messengers, writers, and those who carry truth into darkness. When Gabriel appears, the world is forever changed by his words. Raphael, the angel of healing. Who is Raphael? His name means God heals. Unlike Michael's fire or Gabriel's light, Raphael's aura radiates emerald warmth, dissolving pain and restoring life, form and presence. Appears as a serene, youthful figure in traveler's garb, often holding a staff or vial of curative waters. Some traditions describe his robes as shimmering green like sunlit forest leaves. Purpose and role. In the Book of Tobit, Raphael disguises himself as a human guide. He heals Tobit's blindness with fish gall and binds the demon Asmodeus to liberate Tobit's son's marriage. Thus, Raphael embodies both physical healing and exorcism, merging gentle mercy with fierce protective power. Patronage and invocations. Invoked by the sick, healers, physicians, and travelers for safe passage and restoration. In occult traditions, Raphael governs the east, air, dawn, and the life breath of creation. When Raphael walks beside you, illness flees like shadows before dawn. Uriel, the watcher of wisdom and judgment. Who is Uriel? His name means God is my light or fire of God. Uriel is often overlooked in mainstream theology, but revered in apocryphal and mystical texts as the angel of wisdom, prophecy, and divine judgment. Form and presence. Appears as a towering figure bathed in crimson gold light, eyes burning with endless knowing. Holds a scroll, book, or flaming sword in different visions, symbols of wisdom, memory, and purification. Purpose and role. In 2 Esdras, Uriel guides Ezra through visions of coming judgment, explaining cosmic mysteries beyond mortal comprehension. Some traditions claim Uriel was the angel who stood at Eden's gates with a fiery sword, guarding the tree of life from fallen humanity. In mystical Kabbalah, Uriel illuminates the mind with hidden knowledge, exposing illusions with unrelenting brilliance. Patronage and invocations. Invoked by seekers of wisdom, judges, and magicians, seeking illumination of secret knowledge. Patron of philosophers and scientists, yearning to pierce the veil of appearances. When Uriel descends, all shadows of ignorance are burned away. Other named archangels. Though Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel dominate scripture, Angelology lists others. Raziel, friend of God, harmonizer of angelic disputes. Raziel, mercy of God, guides souls to judgment. Seraphim, God's command, often linked to lunar cycles and forbidden knowledge. These are the archangels, the blazing blades, the thunderous voices, the healing hands, and the watchful eyes of the Most High. Their names are older than empires, their forms more enduring than stone, their duties unbroken by eons. But within heaven's order, a shadow once stirred. A star among these thrones desired to outshine its creator. In our next chapter, we descend into that tragic defiance, the rebellion of Lucifer, the betrayal of the Watchers, and the birth of the Nephilim. Chapter 4. The Fall. Lucifer, the Watchers, and the Forbidden Unions. In the kingdom of heaven, harmony was perfection. Every angelic choir resonated with purpose. Every blazing wing reflected divine order. But even in the brilliance of uncreated light, a shadow grew. A thought unthinkable began to flicker within the mind of the most beautiful among them. Why bow to the throne when my own light rivals the dawn? This was the first sin. This was pride, and it belonged to Lucifer, the morning star. Lucifer, the shining one. Who was Lucifer? Before his fall, Lucifer was called Helel ben Shakar in Hebrew, Lightbringer, son of the dawn. He was perfection incarnate among created beings. Form, described as adorned with every precious stone, robes woven from radiant flame and emerald light. Ro, guardian cherub anointed to cover God's throne, orchestrator of celestial music, his voice alone echoing like a choir of thousands. In Ezekiel's prophecy, you were the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were blameless in your ways from the day you were created, till wickedness was found in you. Lucifer's pride birthed the first rebellion. He believed angels deserved worship equal to God. His beauty blinded him to truth. His wisdom turned inward, breeding corruption. In Isaiah's lament, I will ascend above the stars of God. I will set my throne on high. I will make myself like the Most High. But no created light can rival the source. And so Michael rose, sword blazing, thundering who was like God. Revelation tells of that primordial war. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. Lucifer fell, his brilliance dimmed to searing hatred, his name replaced with Satan, the accuser. He was cast down, along with a third of the angelic host who followed him, falling like embers into the silent void. But his story did not end with exile. His wrath burned hotter with each passing eon, seeking to corrupt the crown jewel of creation, humanity itself. The Watchers, the Grigori. Who were the Watchers? Among the angels assigned to earth were the Grigori, or Watchers, a class tasked with observing the first humans, ensuring divine order flowed into the newborn world. But as they watched, something unthinkable grew within them. They began to desire. In the Book of Enoch it is written, "And it came to pass that when the children of men had multiplied, beautiful daughters were born unto them. And the angels, the sons of heaven, saw them and desired them. 200 watchers descended upon Mount Hermon, swearing an unbreakable oath to take mortal wives and bear children. Their leader was Semazaza, who feared alone he would bear the sin, and thus bound all to the pact. Together, they taught humanity arts hidden from them. Semyaza, enchantments, root cuttings, and sorceries. Azazel, weapons crafting, forging swords, making shields and mirrors, teaching war and vanity. Serial, moonpath mysteries and lunar calendars. Penemu, the secrets of writing and hidden wisdom. The Nephilim, giants born of heaven and earth. The children of this union were the Nephilim, mighty ones of renown, giants who devoured the land. Form, towering beings, born with strength beyond men, minds sharper than steel, and appetites insatiable. Nature, corrupted hybrids, their existence defying cosmic order. They consumed the toil of humanity, and when the earth could no longer feed them, they turned upon mankind in slaughter and cannibalism. Genesis hints only briefly. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. But Enoch tells of earth's lamentation. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. The blood of innocents soaked the ground, rising before God as a stench of corruption. The judgment of the Watchers. God's decree. God sent Uriel to warn Noah of the coming flood and commanded Raphael to bind Azazel hand and foot, casting him into the desert beneath jagged stones until the final judgment. Cover his face that he may not see light, and on the great day of judgment he shall be cast into the fire. Gabriel was sent to destroy the Nephilim, turning them upon each other in war. Their spirits, after death, became the unclean spirits that plagued the world, forever hungry, never sated, wandering as demons upon the earth. And Michael was tasked to lead the Watchers themselves into the depths of the earth, to remain imprisoned until the end of days, when their doom will be sealed forever. Their punishment became legend. Their forbidden teachings spread in whispers through humanity's tribes: birthing, sorcery, metal forging for war, astrology, beautification arts twisted into vanity. These fragments of angelic knowledge became seeds of both civilization's rise and its moral corruption. Theological reflections. Why did they fall? Unlike Lucifer's rebellion of pride, the Watchers fell to desire. They chose to abandon heaven's eternal perfection for the fleeting pleasures of flesh. Their fall was not one of war, but of surrender to senses unmeant for angels. This reveals a hidden horror. Even beings forged from light can be corrupted by yearning. Their union with humanity fractured the boundaries of creation. The Nephilim were an affront to cosmic order. Spirits born into flesh they could not remain within, power without place. Thus, God purged the earth with waters, washing away the stain of the Watchers' sin, preserving Noah's line to renew the world in purity. In the fall of Lucifer, we see pride twisted into hate. In the fall of the Watchers, we see desire twisted into ruin. Both rebellions left scars upon heaven and earth that bleed still into our age. But angels did not disappear with the fading of Eden's gates. In our next chapter, we rise into their enduring presence across all faiths, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, to see how these beings remain woven into every prayer and fear of humankind. Chapter 5. Angels Across Faiths, Shadows, and Light. In Judaism, Christianity, Islam. Though divided by creed, language, and ritual, three great rivers of monotheism flow from a common spring: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And within their sacred currents, angels rise as immortal sentinels, woven into prayers, dreams, and warnings of the end. Yet each faith shapes these beings differently, some as stern enforcers of law, others as radiant heralds of mercy, and still others as watchers recording the tally of every soul. Tonight, we walk through each tradition, candle in hand, unveiling how angels stand at the thresholds of their mysteries. Angels in Judaism, the shadowed watchers. In Judaism, angels, malachim, are messengers and agents of God, created from the second day's divine fire. They are countless, organized in strict hierarchies, each name a word of power. Key angels in Judaic texts. Michael, defender of Israel, the embodiment of God's justice. Gabriel, God's strength, punisher of Babylon, announcer of coming destinies. Raphael, God's healer, who restored Jacob and rescued Abraham's nephew Lot. Uriel, flame of God, angel of wisdom and repentance, uncanonical but venerated in mystic traditions. The Angelic Roles. 1. Messengers, delivering visions to patriarchs and prophets. 2. Warriors, fighting spiritual battles on Israel's behalf. 3. Recorders, chronicling deeds in the heavenly books of life and death. 4. Judges, meting out divine punishments against empires of wickedness. Terrifying forms. The Talmud and Midrash describe angels as beings of incomprehensible form. Some with 6 wings, others with hundreds. Some towering as mountains, feet upon earth, heads brushing heaven's gates. Their bodies aflame with an inner light no flesh can behold without dissolving. The angel of death. In Judaism, the Malach HaMavet, angel of death, is neither demon nor devil, but a servant of God's will. He arrives with mercy for the righteous, terror for the wicked, his sword dripping bitter gall. When Moses' death neared, legend says he fought the angel of death, who could not claim his soul until God himself kissed Moses into eternity. Angels in Christianity, heralds of mercy and judgment. Christian angelology absorbed Jewish tradition, refining it into the 9 choirs as taught by Pseudo-Dionysius. 1. Seraphim. 2. Cherubim. 3. Thrones. 4. Dominions. 5. Virtues. 6. 7. Principalities. 8. Archangels. 9. Angels. Each choir governs a realm of existence, cascading God's will down into creation's lattice. The Archangels. Michael, leader of heaven's armies, cast Lucifer from the heights, patron of warriors and the dying, guiding souls to judgment. Gabriel, messenger of the Annunciation to Mary, herald of Christ's resurrection at the empty tomb, strengthens prophets to endure visions. Raphael, though his Book of Tobit is deuterocanonical, he remains beloved as healer and guide. Uriel, less prominent in canon but venerated in Apocrypha as the angel of wisdom and apocalypse. Guardian angels. Jesus declared, "See that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I tell you that their angels in heaven always behold the face of my Father." Matthew 18:10. Each soul is assigned an angel to protect and guide them from birth to death, a silent companion unseen yet ever present. The angel of death. In Christian lore, this figure appears blended with medieval plague imagery, the grim reaper with scythe and black cloak. Yet Scripture itself depicts angels not as reapers of doom, but as gatherers of souls for God's harvest. In Revelation, angels pour out bowls of wrath and sound trumpets that unravel reality's final threads. Angels in Islam, the servants of divine precision. In Islam, angels, malaika, are created from nur, pure light. They are incapable of sin, existing in perfect obedience, each task performed with unfaltering precision. Key angels in Islam. 1. Jibril. Gabriel, the greatest of all, Archangel of Revelation, delivered the Quran to Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, taught prophets wisdom, and will blow the trumpet on Resurrection Day. 2. Michael, overseer of rain, weather, and provision. His tears quench the fires of hell each day, reflecting endless mercy. 3. Israfil, the angel who holds the trumpet, Sir, to his lips, awaiting God's command to sound the end of all worlds. 4. Azrael, the angel of death, Malek al-Maut, records and severs souls from bodies at appointed times, neither cruel nor kind, only precise. The recording angels. Every person is flanked by 2 angels. Rakib records good deeds, Atid records bad deeds. They inscribe every word, intention, and act into a ledger that will testify for or against each soul on Judgment Day. Terrifying forms. Hadith describe angels of immense stature. Gabriel, his wings filled the horizon when revealed to Muhammad. The bearers of the throne, 4 mighty angels who support God's throne, their forms part eagle, part ox, part lion, part man. The Angelic Greeting. Upon burial, 2 angels, Munkar and Nakir, descend to question the deceased, testing their faith in the darkness of the grave before eternity's decree is issued. Theological unity and divergence. Shared beliefs across all 3 faiths. Angels are messengers and servants of God. They act without autonomy, fulfilling divine will precisely. They act as witnesses to human life, recording every joy and failure. Differences. Judaism, less systematic hierarchy, focuses on function over titles. Christianity, developed elaborate choirs and named orders for liturgical and mystical frameworks. Islam presents angels as purely obedient light beings with clearly assigned tasks, emphasizing accountability and the precision of divine justice. Across languages, temples, and centuries, humanity has looked upward and named its unseen watchers, angels who weep, angels who war, angels who record, and angels who destroy. But in secret traditions, hidden beyond canon and mosque and church alike, lies knowledge of how these beings can be summoned, entreated, and bound to human will. Chapter 6. Secrets of Occult Angelology, Kabbalah, Magic, and Summoning Rites. Beyond the solemn hymns of temples and cathedrals, beyond the official doctrines of priest and imam, lie hidden traditions where angels are not merely revered, they are summoned, bound, and commanded. This is the domain of occult angelology, where mystics, Kabbalists, and magicians risk eternal damnation to draw down the radiance of burning wings for power, knowledge, or forbidden desire. Kabbalah, the mystical tree of angels. The tree of life and angelic hierarchies. In Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah unveils a structure of creation known as the Sephirot, 10 emanations of divine light through which God's infinite essence manifests into finite reality. Each Sephira is governed by an archangel. 1. Keter, crown. Metatron, angelic scribe and highest of creation. 2. Chokmah, wisdom. Raziel, keeper of divine secrets. 3. Bina, understanding. Zaphkiel, angel of contemplation and sorrow. 4. Chest, mercy. Zadkiel, angel of benevolence and forgiveness. 5. Gavura, severity. Kamael, angel of divine strength and judgment. 6. Tippereth, beauty. Raphael, angel of healing and harmony. 7. Netzach, victory. Haniel, angel of love and grace. 8. Hod, glory. Michael, angel of protection and splendor. 9. Yesod, foundation. Gabriel, angel of communication and dreams. 10. Malkuth, kingdom. Sandalphon, angel who weaves prayers into reality. Purpose of angelic knowledge in Kabbalah. The study of angels in Kabbalah is not merely intellectual. Each angel represents a path of ascent for the soul. To know their name is to align oneself with their emanation. To invoke their presence is to draw down their specific blessing, from wisdom to healing to divine justice. But Kabbalists warn, to summon an angel without purification and intent aligned to God's will is to invite madness, for divine light unfiltered sears the unprepared vessel. The mystical Book of Raziel. The Sefer Raziel HaMalach, Book of Raziel the Angel, is a medieval grimoire claiming origin from the angel Raziel himself. Story: Raziel, keeper of secrets, saw Adam and Eve weeping in exile, ignorant of survival or spiritual return. In compassion, he delivered this book to them, containing knowledge of the stars, plants, angelic hierarchies, and creation's mysteries. Intervention. Legend says God cast the book into the ocean in anger, but Rahab, angel of the sea, retrieved it and returned it to Adam. Contents and rites. Within its pages are angelic names for dominion over elements, invocations for protection, healing, and visions, astronomical and astrological secrets mapping the movement of divine will. Even today, Kabbalistic amulets inscribed with Raziel seals are carried for protection against evil forces. Christian grimoires commanding angels. The Ars Almadel, summoning the archangels. In the Lesser Key of Solomon, the Ars Almadel describes a rite to summon the 4 ruling archangels of each season. Construct, a wax tablet inscribed with specific divine names and symbols, set upon 4 candles forming a gateway. Invocation, chanting sacred prayers calling the angel to appear within the glow, to grant wisdom, visions, and protection. The Heptameron rituals of the 7 angels. Attributed to Pseudo-Peter of Abano, the Heptameron details 7 angels ruling the 7 days, each aligned with a planet. Incenses, psalms, and conjurations required for their presence. Their purposes from knowledge of science to the power to heal or bind spirits. Warnings within grimoires. Every text carries the same stark warning. Summon not without fear and purity, for angels are flames clothed in mercy, and their mercy burns the unclean. Failure to maintain sacred intention results in madness, demonic deception, or spiritual collapse. Islamic mysticism, the names that command light. Ruqya and angelic intercession. In mainstream Islam, direct summoning is forbidden. Yet in esoteric Sufi traditions, duas, prayers, and ruqya, incantations, beseech angels for healing and guidance. Example: the 99 names of God recited to invoke angelic guardianship. Ayat al-Kursi, throne verse, used to repel jinn and call protective angels. The Ism Azam, the greatest name. Mystics believe God's hidden greatest name, Ism Azam, grants dominion over all creation. If uttered with absolute purity, angels themselves rush to fulfill the speaker's command. But the price of this knowledge is seclusion, fasting, and abandonment of worldly desire, for power without purification invites destruction. Modern occult angel magic. The Enochian system. Developed by John D. and Edward Kelly, Enochian magic claims origin from angelic dictation. Language: a complex grammar and vocabulary revealed by angels for direct communication. Purpose: opening gates to higher planes, gaining knowledge, power, and apocalyptic secrets. Ritual structure: 1. Purification, fasting, confession, and prayer. 2. Sigil craft, inscribing the Sigillum Dei Emeth, a seal containing names of God and angels. 3. Callings, speaking Enochian keys to summon angelic beings into the scrying crystal or black mirror. Practitioners report visions of towering beings, eyes blazing like suns, voices shaking the soul to tears. Warnings from practitioners. Many modern magicians abandon Enochian practice, reporting intense psychological disturbance, encounters with entities too vast to endure, a sense of being forever marked by angelic gaze. The ethics of summoning angels. All traditions agree, angels are not genies to grant wishes nor demons to command. They are servants of God's will, and to approach them with arrogance invites disaster. The Zohar warns, "He who seeks to bind the lightning to his staff shall find himself ashes before dawn." In these hidden rites, we see humanity's unending thirst to touch the infinite, to command the flame, to force angels to kneel before mortal will. But the higher the angel, the more terrible their descent. In our next chapter, we rise to the final battlefield where angels pour out wrath upon earth. Trumpets sound the end of all flesh, and the heavens themselves burn away in the fire of judgment. Chapter 7. Angels of Apocalypse Trumpets, Reaping, and the End of All Flesh. When the final dawn rises dim and blood-stained upon the earth, it will not be kings, armies, or empires that decide the fate of creation. It will be angels. Not the gentle guardians of children's prayers, but the executors of divine wrath. Their trumpets will shake the marrow of mountains. Their scythes will reap the last harvest of souls. And their voices will echo with the final decree: it is finished. Tonight, we open the seals of Revelation and Hadith, peering into the terrifying roles angels play in the apocalypse. The 7 trumpets of Revelation. The setting. In the Book of Revelation, John sees 7 angels standing before God, each handed a trumpet. As each trumpet sounds, reality unravels layer by layer. First trumpet: fire and blood upon the earth. Effect: hail and fire mixed with blood are hurled down. Consequence: a third of the earth is burned, trees incinerated, grass consumed in flame. Imagine standing beneath a sky cracking open with crimson fire, the scent of burning flesh and forests mingling into an apocalyptic incense. Second trumpet: the mountain of fire. Effect: a burning mass like a mountain is thrown into the sea. Consequence: a third of oceans turn to blood, sea life dies, ships are destroyed. The ocean itself becomes a graveyard, its waves lapping upon blood-choked shores under silent moonlight. Third trumpet: wormwood. Effect: a blazing star falls from heaven, poisoning rivers and springs. Consequence: many die from its bitterness. This star is called Wormwood, and its name echoes in Slavic and biblical lore as a harbinger of bitterness, sickness, and death. Fourth trumpet, darkening of the skies. Effect: a third of the sun, moon, and stars are struck. Consequence: the world is cast into dimness, a perpetual twilight of dread. In this cursed dusk, shadows grow longer, and human hope withers in the cold half-light. Fifth trumpet, the locusts from the abyss. Effect: the abyss opens, releasing locusts like scorpions. Consequence: they torture humanity for 5 months, stinging without killing. These are no earthly insects but demonic beings, their king named Abaddon, Apollyon, the Destroyer. Sixth trumpet, the 4 angels of Euphrates. Effect: 4 angels bound at the river Euphrates are released. Consequence: they lead an army of 200 million to slay a third of mankind. These angels have waited since creation's dawn, shackled until humanity's sins demand their liberation. Seventh trumpet, the end. Effect: voices declare God's kingdom has come. Consequence: lightning, thunder, earthquakes, and hailstorms end the age of flesh. The seventh trumpet is not mere judgment. It is final transformation, reality folding into eternity. The reaping angels. John writes, "Another angel came out of the temple, calling with a loud voice to him who sat on the cloud, 'Put in your sickle and reap, for the hour to reap has come.'" Here, angels become reapers, scythes of blazing light harvesting souls like wheat. Their eyes do not weep. Their hands do not tremble. They cut because it is commanded. Another angel swings his sickle over the earth, gathering grapes into the great winepress of God's wrath. And blood flowed from the winepress as high as a horse's bridle for 1,600 stadia. Blood flooding a valley for 200 miles. A river of scarlet judgment reflecting the blackening skies. The angels of the bowls. After the trumpets, 7 angels pour out bowls of wrath. 1. Soars upon the marked. 2. Sea turns to blood. 3. Rivers become blood. 4. Sun scorches with fire. 5. Kingdom of the beast plunged into darkness. 6. Euphrates dries up. Demonic kings gather for Armageddon. 7. It is done. Earthquakes split cities. Hailstones pound survivors. Each angel acts with the precision of cosmic surgeons, excising corruption. There is no anger in their task, only divine necessity. Islamic eschatology, Israfil's trumpet. Israfil, the herald of Qiyamah. In Islam, Israfil holds the trumpet, Sir, to his lips, awaiting God's command. First blow, all creation falls unconscious. Second blow, all creation dies. Third blow, all are resurrected for judgment. His form is described as immense, his feet upon the lowest earth, his head reaching the pillars of heaven, wings spanning east to west. His eyes weep unceasingly in fear of the Lord. Azrael, the angel of death in Apocalypse. In Hadith, when all have died, God asks Azrael, "Who remains?" He replies, "You, O Lord, who never dies, and I, your servant." Then God commands him to die, and Azrael's soul is taken. Death itself dies. Silence falls over a creation now empty, awaiting resurrection. The final battle, Armageddon. At Armageddon, Michael leads angels in battle against the beast and his armies. Their weapons are not forged from iron, but from light, truth, and will unbreakable. Demons scream under their blades, darkness flees from their presence, and the earth quakes under their footfalls. An unnamed angel descends with a great chain to bind Satan for 1,000 years, casting him into the abyss sealed by divine command. Imagine his chains glowing with runes of unbreakable decree, the gates of the abyss slamming shut upon his howling. The new creation, angels in eternity. After judgment, When God creates the new heaven and new earth, angels remain, guardians of gates carved from pearl, harpists singing unending hymns to the Lamb, witnesses of a creation cleansed from corruption forever. These are the angels of apocalypse, trumpeters, reapers, executioners of wrath, and midwives of eternity. When the stars burn out and the sun collapses into darkness, their wings will still blaze with God's uncreated light, guiding the faithful through the end of flesh into the beginning of forever. In our final chapter, we will reflect upon why humanity fears angels as much as it adores them, and why these beings remain, woven into every terror and hope whispered into the silence of the night. Chapter 8. Final Reflections: Why Angels Terrify Us and Why We Seek Them. They stand in the silent halls of eternity, neither gods nor mortals, but something wholly other. They are angels, beings of flame, thunder, light, and will. Their eyes hold the birth and death of stars. Their wings brush dimensions beyond human comprehension, and their voices shape the architecture of creation itself. Yet despite their terror, despite their incomprehensible majesty, humanity has always reached toward them with trembling prayers. Why? The terror of angels. Do not be afraid. Every scriptural appearance of angels begins with this phrase. Why? Because their arrival shatters normality. Their presence is a rupture in reality, a tearing open of the veil between the mundane and the infinite. Imagine a dark room trembling as a being of blinding radiance appears, eyes like molten gold, wings of interlocking silver feathers spreading across the ceiling. Its voice vibrates not in your ears, but in your bones and blood, resonating with an authority that could obliterate your sense of self. No wonder prophets fell upon their faces, terrified unto death, until the angels spoke peace into their collapsing minds. We imagine angels as human-like for comfort, but true angelic form is beyond categorization. Seraphim, living flames with 6 wings. Cherubim, 4-faced beings with eyes covering their bodies. Thrones, wheels within wheels of burning sapphire, covered in eyes. Oponym, lightning-spoked wheels, singing harmonies that weave the cosmos. These are not kindly guardians, but expressions of God's unfiltered will, their forms shattering the boundaries of human imagination. The attraction of angels. Despite their terror, angels also embody hope. Michael, protector against darkness. Gabriel, bringer of divine revelation. Raphael, healer of body and soul. Uriel, illuminator of secret wisdom. We seek them because within their terrible majesty lies mercy, healing, and guidance. Intermediaries between flesh and eternity. Angels exist between God and creation. They carry prayers upward and deliver answers downward. They watch over life from birth to death, guardians unseen but ever present. This makes them accessible to human yearning, a bridge to the divine too bright to behold directly. In a universe that seems cold and indifferent, angels are reminders of intentionality, of purpose woven into the fabric of existence. Their existence whispers, "You are not alone. Your life is witnessed. Your deeds are recorded. Your soul is guarded." The fear of angels. We fear angels because they see us as we truly are. No illusions, no self-justifications, no secrets hidden from their gaze. They are God's mirror, reflecting the reality of human souls with an unflinching gaze. Instruments of wrath. They are also executioners of divine judgment, reaping angels harvesting souls at the apocalypse, destroying angels sent against Egypt and Assyria. The angel of death, sword unsheathed against the unrepentant. Within their mercy lies wrath. Within their beauty lies terror. Why we seek them despite the fear. Humanity is drawn to the numinous, the sacred beyond comprehension. We seek angels because they are the closest glimpse of God's power and presence. Their terror is proof of their authenticity. A being that comforts without awe is not truly divine. As C.S. Lewis said, safe? Of course he isn't safe. But he's good. In a world filled with suffering, violence, and unexplainable evil, the thought of powerful guardians watching over us brings solace. Parents place angel statues over cribs. Soldiers wear Michael medallions into battle. The dying see radiant figures reaching out with gentle hands. In occult traditions, seekers pursue angels for secret wisdom of creation, dominion over elements and spirits, visions of hidden dimensions, union with divine will. But such pursuits risk madness, for angelic light burns the unprepared mind. Some theologians argue angels are mirrors reflecting humanity's highest and lowest potentials. Their obedience, our ideal of selfless purpose. Their wrath, our terror of justice. Their wisdom, our hunger for truth. Their incorporeality, our yearning to transcend flesh and decay. The final mystery. Despite all scripture, lore, and mystical visions, angels remain a mystery. Are they beings of pure will? Living metaphors given form? Manifestations of God's unmediated thoughts? The Zohar teaches that to see an angel is to see a single letter in the endless, divine book, a glimpse so powerful it can sanctify or destroy. They were here before us. They watch us now. They will remain when the sun darkens and flesh returns to dust. Somewhere, unseen, your guardian angel stands, silent and vigilant. Beyond them, archangels prepare for war at the end of days. Above them, seraphim burn before the throne, singing hymns that hold the universe together. We fear them. We seek them. Because they are both reminders of our smallness and whispers of the eternity from which we came and to which we will return. If this journey through angelic mysteries ignited awe and dread within you, subscribe to Chronicles and Legends. Like this video if you walk with curiosity in dark corridors of forbidden knowledge. Comment below. Which angel terrifies or comforts you the most, and why? Remember, light without shadow is blinding, but shadow without light is nothing. Angels are both.